Today, let's talk about a word that I'm not sure that I really like: perseverance. Anyone else like this word? No, not really. However, what perseverance leads to, wow. Webster's defines perseverance this way: continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failures, or opposition. I like the achieving part. It's the continued effort despite difficulties, failure, or opposition that I don't really care for. Anyone else with me? We're in this time of great difficulty. I think most of us are tired of COVID-19. Anyone else concerned about digging out of this turmoil that is caused for us as individuals and even as a community and a world? Can it be that perseverance is necessary to get out of this? Perseverance is certainly a part of discipleship. Jesus persevered to the end. He endured that brutal last week of his life. The cross came before the tomb, before the final victory over sin and death. It seems to me that great discipleship victories don't happen overnight. They don't happen without obstacles or pain or even hardship. The victorious ones are the ones who don't give up, who endure all the way to the end, who are ready to persevere. Are you ready? Have you ever used this WD-40? Along with duct tape, it has to be one of the greatest things in the world. Ever wonder about the name WD-40? The WD stands for water displacement. Originally designed by the aerospace industry, the 40 actually stands for how many versions of the product they concocted until they got the one that really did the job. Now today, the product has some 2,000 official uses, but 1,999 of them were unintended benefits, and none of them would be possible if the team stopped on the 39th try. Jesus never quit. Christ followers, we should never quit either. The call to perseverance is seen throughout Scripture. Paul says in that great love chapter, 1 Corinthians 13, he says that love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. When Paul mentors Timothy, he reminds him in 1 Timothy 4, watch your life and doctrine closely, and then he says, persevere in them, because if you do, you will save both yourself and your hearers. The writer of the book of Hebrews, he tells us in chapter 10, he says in verse 36, you need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. James, the half-brother of Jesus, he reminds us in chapter 1, verse 12, blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Let me circle back to Jesus. His disciples, they don't really understand his teaching. Crowds are hungering for bread and miracles instead of righteousness. The spiritual elitists, they plot against him. And yet, Jesus never stops. He never gave up. He never tells people to go jump into the Dead Sea. He perseveres all the way to the end. And so can we. It may take 40 tries to get it right. We have to go to plan B or C or D in this life, maybe this week. But it's going to be worth it when we hear the words, well done, good and faithful servant. Come share your master's happiness. Today, would you be reminded that it's time for you and I, that we need to persevere. We'll see you tomorrow.